Good morning, students. I'm Shaila, your psychology teacher. Today, we are going to learn something more about psychological disorders. Today, we are going to put more light into the disorders known as eating disorders. Students, eating disorders refers to serious disruption of the eating habit or the appetite manifested as distorted body image. That means this disorder arises because we have distorted body image or the wrong body image. What we are expecting from our body image is something different from what we have. It can be also due to the traumatic events or due to some kind of a trauma or some kind of an abuse that you have suffered. There are three types of eating disorders: anorexia nervosa, bulimia nervosa, and binge eating. Let us understand bulimia. Bulimia nervosa, in this, the individual may eat excessive amounts of food, then purge his or her body of food by using medicines such as laxatives or by vomiting. In this, what happens? To understand it more, let us understand what happens. See, a person craves food, but because of the distorted body image, he or she puts himself into the strict rigid diet. But because he is craving the food he eats, he feels ashamed and depressed, and due to this depression and shamefulness, the person started feeling guilt and self-loathing that I have been not able to adhere to the strict diet. I have failed. I might as well eat more. And what happens? Break rule and eat. The person starts eating more, right? And then what happens? Because of this binge eating or the excessive eating, the person starts vomiting, forced vomiting, or use laxatives to get that vomit out. Okay, and what happens? Ultimately, the body weight is maintained, the target is not achieved, and the person feels more guilt. So, this cycle becomes a vicious cycle which he is not able to break. And this interferes into the day-to-day life activities as a person is not able to do his daily activities. The person often feels disgusted and ashamed when he binges and is relieved by tension and negative emotions after purging. That means there are negative emotions, negative feeling when he is eating, and when he takes them out through vomiting, then he feels less of tension and less of negative emotions. This is the way the cycle moves on. So it is very difficult to come out of it. Next, second number is binge eating. Now what happens is, in the binge eating there are frequent episodes of out of control eating. How this happens? If a person feels deprived, maybe deprived of love, maybe deprived of something that he wants, and there is an overwhelming urge to eat. Okay, now what happens? Because of that depression, because of their deprivation, feeling of deprivation, a person eats. Now the person feels out of control and ashamed because he is not able to adhere to the diet, and then also he is feeling ashamed and he is feeling deprived for whatever cause. He again tries to diet but again binges. That means the cycle goes on and on. Sometimes it is just for the comfort food that a person eats again and again. So, in why does a binge eating occurs? Binge eating occurs when there is a low self-esteem, and it takes place when there is a negative self-image. Eating disorder like binge eating is very harmful for the person because it can lead to obesity, because a person eats comfort food, junk food again and again and again. It can happen due to some childhood traumatic experience, due to sexual abuse, neglect, witnessing horrific events, or even crime. And there are many accompanying psychological disorders like PTSD and OCD that can make accompany binge eating. Third in line is anorexia nervosa. Anorexia nervosa, the individual has a distorted body image that leads him to see himself as an overweight person. Now, the self-esteem is low and there is an over-evaluation of weight because a person sees himself as overweight. He may not be overweight. Now, what happens is he often starts refusing to eat, exercises compulsively, and develop unusual habits such as refusing to eat in front of others. Because he is having strict weight control behaviors, he does exercises regularly, he eats very moderately and tries to achieve the weight. How he tries to achieve the weight loss, it is by checking again and again about his body shape, about the weight, etc., and the amount of food that he is or she is eating. There is a decrease of the body weight, but then also there is a sense of overweight in the person. He is not satisfied with the body image, and then again he sets a new target for himself or herself. An anorexic may lose large amount of weight and even starve himself to death because the target always keeps on decreasing and there is never satisfaction about his body image, right? This kind of anorexia nervosa usually happens with the TV models or TV stars because the photography or the movie makes them look little bit more put on, right? They don't look slim, they look little bit heavy, and they want to maintain a body figure that appeases the nation. That is why, to make themselves more slimmer and more prettier and more nicer, they keep on reducing, and it may lead to their death also. Now students, the next in line is the disorder known as disruptive and impulse control disorder. Now, disruptive and impulse control disorder is mainly observed in the children. Now, the first is oppositional defiance disorder. Oppositional defiance disorder shows age inappropriate amounts of stubbornness, right? The person is very, very stubborn. He is irritable, defiant, disobedient, and behave in an hostile manner. Individuals with ODD do not get themselves as angry, right? They do not see themselves angry. They see others, right? That they are being defiant, they are being oppositional and justify their behavior as reaction to the circumstances. वो क्या बोलते हैं, वो ग्रजेस होते हैं उनके अंदर, उनके बोलते हैं कि दूसरे हमें ऐसे कर रहे थे इसलिए मैं कर रहा हूँ. Okay, so they does not respond well to the authority. They are hostile towards others. They do not fit in with others. They do not even try to adjust with others. So there is a constant aggravating situation, and there are lots of verbal confrontation with the elders, right? They blame others. There is lots of anger without any provocation. They are always resentful, and due to all this they do not use appropriate language. So the main features are irritable, defiant, disobedient, and behave in a hostile manner, right? Now ODD people, the symptoms of the disorder become entrangled with the problematic interaction with others. Now the people see that ODD can only be in boys. No students. ODD is equally in boys and girls. It is not different in any situation. Next is conduct disorder. Conduct disorder refers to age inappropriate actions and attitudes that violate family expectations, societal norms, and the person and property rights of others. Now here it is very important that there is a violence, but that violence is violating the rights of others. Now it can be property rights, it can be personal rights, right? The behavior typical of conduct disorder includes aggressive actions that can cause or threaten harm to people or animals, right? Non-aggressive conduct that causes property damage, major dishonesty, theft, and serious rule violation. Now there are 4 types of aggressive behaviors. First is verbal aggression, in which it includes abusive language, name calling, swearing. Physical aggression includes hitting and fighting. Instrumental interaction is a goal directed, where we want something out of the other person. Next is hostile, where we are our aggression is directed at inflicting injury to others. Understood? Where we want to inflict injury to others, it is known as hostile. Right, students? And the last one is physical aggression, proactive aggression, which includes bullying. Right? We bully others. If the child is acting out and starting to show behavioral problems, they may have conduct disorder, which is a group of repetitive and emotional and behavioral problems in the children. This order can be caused by many things, from genetics to trauma. So we have to understand these type of children and bring them to the therapy regularly, so that the issues can be resolved properly. I hope you have understood, students. Thank you. Have a nice day. Happy learning.